Welcome back to FPW Trick or Treat, brought to you in association with The People's Broker. Follow The People's Broker on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and at thepeoplesbroker.co.uk. I am Bobby Davies here at the commentary desk with Big Rich. We got a singles match coming up, the centerpiece. David Francisco takes on TNA's Suicide.
This is a handsome man. This is a handsome wrestler. Poised. Pedigree.
I shouldn't be
magnificent. David's talking, be quiet. Get that camera on him.
I shouldn't be surprised you like David Francisco. You're both similar. Ego is way out of whack with reality. No one likes you. And you chat a lot of crap.
The insults out of your mouth today are indescribable. You should be ashamed of yourself.
David Francisco trying to pose in front of the FPW faithful. I think someone tried to push him off a chair there. I don't blame them. David Francisco coming off of a match with Paul Robinson. It was an intense war. Manages to get the win over Robbo, but thanks to a distraction from Connor Mills.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Centrepiece, David Francisco.
This kid's got a great side. Right in front of him.
Paul 6'9".
No, it's got my name on it. David Francisco.
I suppose you need that type of pop, don't you?
David Francisco gets the ire of this crowd. And he has got one of his biggest challenges of his career ahead of him. He is taking on the two-time TNA X-Division champion, Suicide. I don't think Francisco has stopped jaw-jacking with this audience since he come out. Here he comes. Making his debut for FPW, here is Suicide! Two-time TNA X-Division champion, stalwart!
Making his FPW debut, Suicide!
Stalwart of TNA, winning matches like Ultimate X, ladder matches. He's been to war in a six-sided ring. He has toured all over the US, all over Europe, and he is here in FPW to take on the centerpiece at FPW Trick or Treat.
I'm a big David Francisco fan, but I've got to admit, I don't know who's going to win this one.
Hey, I might be with you on that. Suicide, experience advantage. He's not well known to David Francisco. Not a lot of time in the ring in the UK. But same could be said the other way around. What does Suicide know about David Francisco? Has he done his homework? David Francisco has got a lot of experience that belies the time he's been in the ring. One of the best in the country, up and coming. Gone to war recently with Sharp Samuels.
Can we just acknowledge how magnificent David Francisco's hair looks? Can we just take a moment, please?
I mean, it's very wet. And there he is, the mysterious Suicide, scaring Francisco. Hey, one of Suicide's tactics, one of them going to war, is psychological. He is a creepy dude, and he's there to scare you. He knows it. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's playing that game.
Rumor has it he was born with that mask.
Suicide with the immediate advantage on Francisco, who is looking frazzled already. Francisco trying to claim the center of the ring. Suicide not having it. Great key lock. Francisco looking to reverse, slides out the back. And I wasn't expecting this to start off with. This is Francisco's warehouse, but I was not expecting a catch-as-catch-can fight in the middle of the ring from Suicide. Trying to prove that whatever you could do, I can do better.
These are two wrestlers at the peak of their game.
Here we go. A bit of lucha libre from Suicide.
David Francisco is not intimidated, and his ring prowess should not be overlooked.
Suicide slips out the back, and more mind games. Suicide is an enigma. And you can see it on Francisco's face. Francisco, the audience getting to him, Suicide getting to him. There he goes. And if he wasn't getting to him, he is now dragging him down by the mask. Kip up by Suicide. Francisco didn't see it coming, ducks down. Suicide, look at the athleticism. And there is Lucha Francisco rolling through. And speaking of Lucha, one arm drag, springboard off the middle. Francisco comes back in and eats another arm drag for his trouble. Chest chop.
Suicide is all over him. He's up and he's down and he's around. He's another high
Up to
offensive
the top
move.
rope. And another springboard arm drag sends Francisco across the ring. Threatening him with that left hand. Francisco begs off.
Suicide takes control of this fight. Can David Francisco get back in?
Look at the face of Francisco. Doesn't know what to make. Tries to rake the eyes, but he's wearing a mask.
Oh, David, no.
David tries to take the low road, and it does not work. Suicide. I think I heard the word stupid.
I think you're
Follows
right.
in Francisco. Trips him under the rope. What a move. Not seen that before. Spins him round.
The crowd are right behind him.
And a high knee as Francisco was draped across the ring apron. Suicide now making his way up to the top turnbuckle. Francisco is in the splash zone.
Suicide taking time to acknowledge this crowd.
And you're
David
right.
Francisco sees the opening.
Francisco follows Suicide in. Right hand, or left hand should I say.
Straight to the temple.
Francisco is left-handed. That is going to be his favourite choice to strike with, choking Suicide in the corner.
He has to find a way to neutralize the aerial ability of Suicide.
Francisco says, if an eye rake ain't going to work, I'm just going to choke you.
Dedicated to the win.
Francisco
Has Suicide between the ropes.
tied up in that middle rope, and just a swinging club. Stamping on the forehead.
Those ropes look friendly, but I guarantee you they are not.
This is where Francisco might have the edge. He is vicious. He's more vicious than Suicide. More vicious than most people on the roster. He's a spiteful man. Back elbow.
Into the jaw. In for the
To the
pin.
cover. I don't know if this is going to keep Suicide down. I think Francisco just trying to test the firepower of Suicide, saying, what have you got? Cravat in the middle of the ring. Notice how Francisco has put his knee on Suicide's knee, trying to keep him down, trying to keep him grounded.
Good observation. Suicide finds a way out.
Those elbows and just a straight left hand to the gut slows Suicide down. Reversal. Maybe look for a leg sweep. No. Into an octopus stretch.
Unbelievable. I thought he was going for a Russian leg sweep, but he turns it into something else. Oh, this looks painful.
I think Francisco did as well. He ducked down to try and avoid Suicide being able to grab his head. Didn't work. Roll through. Sunset flip into the pinfall. Francisco using the knees to bell clap Suicide's ears.
Boot to the face.
Francisco heads up to the middle right. We've seen this before. Double jump barrier. That is vintage Francisco.
That's a thing of beauty. Can we see that again, please, Francisco? Please.
Francisco now circling Suicide, taking in the jeers of this crowd.
David Francisco feeds off the negativity of his audience. He feeds off of it.
Hey, I've never heard a true sentence said about David Francisco when he feeds off negativity. Drag Suicide into the centre of the ring. Neck breaker.
Swinging neck breaker.
Have you been doing your homework? I heard you called the names of 3 moves correctly.
Punch to the face, kick to the face, swinging neck breaker.
Francisco now looking for a variation on the STF. Is he looking to pull the mask off of Suicide? Or Suicide grounding his head so Francisco cannot sit in with the STF. Reaches the bottom rope, tricking Francisco, keeping that head flat to the mat. Couldn't reach round. Hey, you can't. If you can't keep him down, you can't keep him down. Francisco now jaw-jacking to us. Back elbow by Suicide. That is what you get. I think that's because there's a sign in the audience that says Bobby Davies is better than you, and it got shown to Francisco. Francisco sends Suicide off the rope. Suicide reverses. Switches around. Just a spinning back fist. What a move by Suicide. I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you FPW Trick or Treat is brought to you in association with The People's Broker. Follow The People's Broker on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and at thepeoplesbroker.co.uk.
The momentum of the ropes propelling Suicide, and the spin of the backhand took him out of this match.
That spinning back fist I did not see coming. Suicide not traditionally a striker, but bringing out a very MMA style move. And there's some more strikes. Francisco looking to swing wildly, misses. Those palm strikes to the chest. Looking to win them, and just a trip in the middle of the ring. Suicide. A lot of momentum. Backsplash. Francisco sent off the ropes. No reversal. Suicide hangs in the ropes just too fast. Francisco looks to tackle him through and misses. Vaulting body press by Suicide.
That was smooth.
Francisco's now taking a seat on a member of the front row of the audience.
Knife edge chop.
Suicide chops his chest. David looking for another seat. Just needs a little break here. Chest chop. Suicide not giving Francisco any room to maneuver.
Unbelievable.
Francisco struggling to breathe. I don't know if these fans want you on their lap, Francisco. Francisco retreats to the ring. Suicide follows him in.
They should be so lucky.
Swings wildly. Just a dropping him on his tailbone in the middle of the ring. Off the ropes. PK.
Penalty kick, ladies and gentlemen. Penalty.
Lion Salt in the middle of the ring. This one is over. Oh, Francisco
digging deep.
It out at the very last second. What a Lion Salt by Suicide. Have you ever seen anything that smooth? Suicide egging this crowd on to get behind him. The shots that David Francisco took at his stomach clearly taking effect. Francisco winded after that PK and then the Lion Salt. Francisco though, playing possum, lures Suicide in. Looking for a superplex. Suicide though, fighting back, not letting Francisco get him. Headbutt. Francisco falls from that middle rope, gets back up. Suicide jumps over, back to the other side. Springboard crossbody takes down Francisco. Suicide feeling it. One more Lion Salt, but Francisco gets the knees up.
It is Francisco's time. He's going in.
Everstone kick. Francisco follows up with a cover. He's finished matches with this before. Into the gut. Suicide was done.
2.8.
That Everstone kick has won David Francisco plenty of matches. The crowd telling Francisco that he cannot beat Suicide. Francisco with a look of grim determination on his face.
How mean is this audience?
Hey, they're saying what they can see. It's like catchphrase up in here. Francisco looking to pile drive Suicide. Suicide sees it coming. Into the roll up. Francisco finds a way out.
Careful.
Suicide looks at the kick to the gut. Francisco sees it coming. Seen this before. Loads him up. Power bomb in the middle of the ring. Double stack pin. Suicide manages to kick out two of Francisco's heaviest moves.
Holds his legs. Is he going for double underhook?
That is a Texas Cloverleaf in the middle of the ring. Francisco's favored submission. Suicide looking in trouble here. Hard to tell with that mask on his face, but he must be in agony. Manages to make his way to the bottom row. Francisco refusing to let go of the cloverleaf. Francisco, the look on his face says, what do I need to do to beat this man? The Centrepiece, struggling with his emotions in this match, struggling with his frustration. Francisco trying to keep calm and collected, looking at Suicide, stamping on him in the corner now. See that frustration. The crowd's starting to upset Francisco now. What you said he was feeding off it earlier, now it is starting to get to him.
He is human. They've been in this fight going back and forth. He's going to have a few things creep in.
What a left hand by Francisco.
I felt
Rocking
that in
the
my
jaw.
chair. Did you hear the connection on that left hand?
Choking out Suicide. Francisco runs in. Suicide brings up the boots, just pushes Francisco away. Codebreaker! Francisco on wobbly legs. Suicide, this is his moment. He can finish the match right here. Up to the top. What is he looking for? Senton bomb in the middle of the ring. Francisco tries to roll away to prevent the cover. Doesn't work. This is it. Francisco got his foot on the ropes.
He saved the energy from kicking out and gently put his foot on the rope. This match continues.
That is the experience of David Francisco. Been wrestling a lot this year, more than any other year of his career, having big matches, main events. Suicide has this crowd right behind him. Comes in against David Francisco, who pulls referee Kyle Williams in the way. David uses that opportunity to smash Suicide's head off. O'Connor roll into the cover. Francisco grabs onto the tights, but reversal by Suicide into the cover. Francisco, in his fumbling for the tights, gave Suicide an opening, who rolled through and pinned Francisco. Sometimes you knock your opponent out, sometimes you make them submit, and sometimes you simply out-wrestle them, roll them up and get the three. That is what happened here today. Suicide gets the win at FPW Trick or Treat, brought to you in association with the People's Broker. Francisco arguing with referee Kyle. It all started when you pulled the referee in the way.
Take nothing away from David Francisco. He fought and he fought and he fought, and the margins are slim in this one. He'll be back again.
Francisco did fight,
That handsome man.
but his fundamental mistake, he's the architect of his own demise, tried to involve the referee and it went wrong for him. Suicide getting the win at Trick or Treat. Thank you for watching FPW Trick or Treat. We have more matches coming up for you. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe and watch our back catalogue.